Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on May 11th, and this week joining me once again to discuss it is Gerrtt84. So you can say hello, Gert.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's good to be here, bright and early for you on a Tuesday morning.
So this week, we're getting the story event with the new Reagan and Saul. Now these were units we kind of expected coming in order, based on JP. But next would have been based on the JP schedule, the Dragon Quest collaboration. So what are your thoughts before we get into this banner, Gert? Do you think Global is delaying Dragon Quest, skipping Dragon Quest, or I guess that's the only two options because it's not here this week.
Right. My understanding is that they've usually given us the Dragon Quest eventually. So I would hope it's just delaying because I know that is at least one person that I know of that's really excited about specific units and TMRs and STMRs from it. So I really hope it's just a delay, and not a total skip.
Now, one thing I will say, at least people have told me, because I'm not really like the biggest Dragon Quest fan, but supposedly this Dragon Quest specifically has never been released outside of Japan or something.
Oh.
So people were thinking that one may not be coming, whereas the other Dragon Quest were like they had global releases, so it kind of made sense. This one's supposedly like exclusively to Japan, from what I'm told. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But that's people have told me, so that could be something to do with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But for this week, we've got two new units and an awakening unit. So Blades of Black Flame Reagan and Red-Eyed Sage Saul. Now, why don't they just go with the names that like they translate from in JP? Because apparently the Japanese name of these was Twin Blades, Dark Flame Reagan. That's kind of long, and then Vermilion Sage Saul. I guess they think this sounds better. I guess.
I cannot wait to trip over saying Blades of Black Flame like 300 times during a video. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
So these units are actually pretty decent overall, I would say. But before we get into that, though, let's look at the banner. So the banner is just a generic. Is that a guaranteed banner unit? I don't think so. Doesn't look
It
like
says
it.
five. It looks like 5% rate for each of the featured Neo Vision, so it's not a guaranteed that it's gonna be one of them.
Okay. So real quick, I'm going to show that we are also getting this week a special vision card step up, and we'll talk about this vision card in a moment. But why do you think they're doing it this way instead of like the usual vision card as a perk on the banner? They're completely separating it from the banner. Like that's not great, I don't think.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any benefit to it. It's literally just selling a vision card. Doesn't look like there's like fragments for those units or rate up for those units that I'm seeing from looking right at it. It's just, hey, here's a vision card.
Yeah, nothing. There's no pity tokens. There's no other things in the shop, little shop tokens. Nothing at all. It's
What
just
is that though? That's so 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, 29. Is that 29 that I'm doing that math real quick?
it looks like it to me. So 13, 16. Yeah. Wait, no, I can't be right. Hold on. 13, 19,000. Or am I just horrible at math?
I'm definitely horrible at math. I'm saying 3,
6,
6,
10, 14. Yeah, it's
nine,
19,000.
19. So it's 19 and there's five total guaranteed Neos, but they could be, enjoy your Neo Vision reign, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you just want the vision card, this is nice that it's only 19 and not 28 like usual.
hmm
But like, who wants just a vision card? The vision card is not even that great. We'll get to that in a second. But I still feel like it should have been put on this banner, and they
I
should.
would I Yeah, even on ones where they've given us, like, for example, I remember back to Leave Things to Me, that was tied to a banner. Like, people didn't really care about Tulian, but at least you were like getting Tulian and a vision card. It, yeah, I don't know.
And while we're talking about, let's jump straight to the new global exclusive vision card. So this is Saul's card, apparently. Well, the banner art. 135 magic, 100% MP and magic. and then 500 flat MP and magic. Now, people might look at this and immediately not realize and be like, "Oh, this is the Dazzling Demoness replacement." It's not. It has no base MP on it whatsoever. So while it is good for gearing a unit, that wants MP, but it has no base. So it's like I think for like a meteor unit, the Olivera card is still better than this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I would guess that too, because without the base, it's just it's a maybe kind of a maybe if you have 3 meteor users in your team, it'd be like maybe, but like I don't know. I'm not impressed with it.
It seems so strange too because currently, for the coming up week, we're still going to have Genesis on banner, and them like either rerunning the Dazzle card or printing an alternative and selling it seems like it would be like the easiest bank ever. And this is definitely not a replacement for Dazzling Demoness, so I don't really understand what the purpose of this card is. And it's not even that great. The only other special thing is the Human Killer. I would assume it's the same thing as the last month's that had Beast Killer, so 250 Human Killer after a ramp up, or whatever. Or it might be... Actually, there's no ramp up. It's just right away.
Yeah, it's just one use, yeah. Or just single turn, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this card? Worth 19k?
I'm not dropping 19k on it. I wouldn't recommend it to new players either, just because it's missing a lot of what we would really hope for these special cards. I mean, Human Killer is one of the easiest killers to get on your party right now. Not to mention, we're gonna talk about it in a second, but you're gonna be able to, if you pull on the units, you're gonna be able to have a really nice Human Killer in your party anyway. I wouldn't.
Yeah. So, if you're rich, sure. If you're on a budget,
Yeah.
I think it's probably a skip for this card.
Yeah.
But for the units, so Black Blades. I can't say this name.
You're doing it first.
Blades of Black Flame Reagan. So, do you want to talk about this one, Gerrtt?
Sure. I mean, so I had a chance to kind of skim over on the wiki and or the JP side, of course, so that there's, who knows if there's any changes, but I mean, he seems to have some nice utility for the party and decent stuff for himself. He's got a fairly nice break on his LB and a nice imperil on his LB, and some nice kind of some selfish utility like self imbues and stuff, but also has a 160 AoE Human Killer, which I'm a fan of.
And the big thing I like about him is he does have a Magnus of 89% defense and Spirit Break. And while that's not the biggest deal, a lot of units these days have that, his personal damage is actually good. So unlike...
He's got the 8x cap.
8x cap, 150 amplify for dark only though, but 150 amplify, and his LB is non-elemental, so he can be imbued to other stuff if you want to external, amplify, etc. And he can be your breaker, so he is probably going to be the highest damage breaker in the game for dark visions, which is really good. Yeah, so this is the unit that I really want to have a copy. I'm not going to pull for him, but I may use 10 tickets and just hope for the best, but I can't just... He's really just for dark visions, by the way. You're not going to use him in Clash of Wills. But...
It's just nice to see somebody with an 89 break who can actually put out some damage, too. You compare that to somebody like Cacteria. Now, granted, Cacteria is really old, but it's just at that point, you better have Ayaka's Vision card to let her do something, And it's just nice to have a nice break on somebody who can do something other than just that break.
Yep. So he's pretty, he's pretty good. He's definitely a good unit. As far as his Vision card, this is a shared Vision card for both Reagan and the upcoming Saul. The Vision card's terrible. You're never ever going to use this. It has low stats, no flat stats, no passives except for some killers. I can't see this ever being used. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've only used I've used one of those Vision cards that's like this once in a rank 1 video. And it was it was because Olive just needed more killers somewhere, and I used the one from Final Fantasy X-2 that had killers on it, and it was just I'm just trying to force everything I possibly can in, and her stats were really low as a result of it. But she had the killer she needed, but it was just one time ever.
And I guess now that you mention it, if, for example, two of these killers lined up on a boss, or maybe even three of them, because the Clash of Wills boss has 3 races, so apparently we're moving into that. I guess it could be good, depending on the unit and all. It could be.
Yeah, gearing is always so it's like the third final boss.
So yeah, that's Reagan. His oh my god, I forgot to mention his STMR. That's kind of a big deal too. So his STMR is the Titus's garb in materia form. And for some units, that's a really big deal. Any unit that like really has to use their chest slot for some other thing, this is a great upgrade for them. Like, not that you're going to deal damage with him, but the biggest probably boost for this is Angeal. Loves this STMR. Other units that are, SLB and you don't want to use like the Titus garb, you'd rather use Clash of Wills gear. This is just really good for mostly older units because newers have it built in, the premiums do, but still, it's a real nice STMR to have.
Great alternative. It's good to just have more options that do similar or the same things. If you for some reason just haven't been lucky enough yet to pull, Titus, you've got an option.
Definitely nice. And then Red-Eyed Sage Saul. So this is like the Reagan we just talked about that doesn't deal damage. It's really unfortunate. So Reagan deals great damage. Saul deals basically no damage. He does have the 89 breaks to both stats, just like Reagan does. But he has fields, or a field, an Imperil field to Ice and Dark. So that's his perk, I guess. It's a breaker with an Ice and Dark Imperil field, and no damage.
Now to go with Reagan, he's got a companion 160 demon killer buff for the party.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So if you didn't get Ibarra and you feel like you need 160 human and demon killer, you can just go ahead and pull both these units.
But yeah, like his magic is very, very low. I think he doesn't have an amplify either, or it's not a 150 by memory. Do you remember if he does or doesn't?
I didn't notice it when I was scanning, but I was scanning pretty quickly. So
he's just really low. He's basically the old format of JP breakers, like Lulu and Laguna. Like a breaker, they're not allowed to deal damage in JP's eyes. So that's him. But his fields are nice, and that's kind of mostly it. His TMR is kind of whatever, and then his STMR is kind of whatever.
Mainly just for him. Yeah.
It is 50 LB damage on a higher than Yuna's STMR accessory, I guess, but it's still not that great.
And they both have leader skills.
Oh, that's right. 100% for Dark for Saul, and let's check out Reagan's. 100% for Brave Exvius. That's nice, I guess. Only 100%, but still. Now, why is it only 100? Because the Dark Lineage Thena got 300. Why does he only get 100? That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Sad face. But we're getting a story event. It's a story event. If you're interested in the story, definitely read it. It's more of the Reagan Deoxys type stuff. You get the log quartz. I've seen people say, what do you use these on? Any recommendations, Gerrt? What new players should use their log quartz for?
I haven't used any yet. So
Me either.
I don't know. I mean, I can't even remember what's in the shop.
Yeah, I honestly, me either. I think there's a gold crown in the shop, and that's like probably worth grabbing because gold crowns are relatively rare these days. They're all silver now. But yeah, it's free stuff.
Free stuff is good. Always free stuff is good.
Oh, we didn't even talk about. Is he Folan? I forgot about Folan.
Yeah.
Awakenings. So he's getting awakened. I calculated his damage, and it's not great. He's wind on his jump. He does have a non-elemental jump with lower modifiers, but his wind jump is his good one. I think it's worse than Sky. So
the the way I was thinking about Sky too, the base modifier is actually higher than Sky's. So Sky's is base 45 and his is base 50. But Sky has more ways of boosting her modifiers than Folan does, even with his upgrade to his STMR. And Sky's jump hits twice, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
she ends up coming out on top because she gets to double dip on all of her mod boosts.
Mm-hmm. And her personal amplify is higher too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's oh, I guess I can say in JP, people did use him as kind of like a version of Kresnik, because Kresnik can do his AoE 40 LB crystal fill per turn with his quad attack build. Folden can do the same thing. He can AoE. He can triple cast a 12.5 LB fill AoE, so it's like 39.5 or something. So it's basically the same thing as Kresnik.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I will say Folan is one that I've just managed to never get copies of. I got his STMR like for the first time like ever in the past year. I don't know why. So I just looked and I have 2 spare copies plus a 7-star version right now. So I will not have EX3 day 1. But yeah, I don't know. He's just one that's always evaded me.
Mm-hmm. And then his TMR and STMR are both getting upgraded. So the TMR is getting the same jump boost that Ricard's STMR has, although it's slightly lower attack power. And then his STMR gets jump damage and more attack stats. It's still got 80% wind resist, which is really the only reason you'd use it. But it's better. Better now. Yeah. Yep. He's basically a New Vision's Awakening, and he's free, so whatever. Yeah. But then we are apparently not getting Folan's story event. So in JP, when this came out, they reran the original Folan event, and this is like the original event came back like in 2017. This is like incredibly old. I guess Global is not rerunning it. We're just getting the stuff in the mail. So,
yep,
yay. What do you think the reason is they're not rerunning the event? Because the event, like, it's already been there, so it's already translated. It's already like in the game data. So why would they not just turn it on for this event?
I guess just to not have 2 story events going at the same time.
I guess.
But I mean, if it's already there, and especially if it's not the kind of if it's the kind of thing where like players who played it the first time don't have to go back and redo it unless they just really feel like it. Like I don't know.
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, let people know what's going on in this game.
And then Awakenings for Faisla's Neo Vision. She gets Silver Crowns. She gets an overall unit upgrade, etc. By memory, I calced her on JP, and like it wasn't anything impressive, and I just like was whatever. When she comes on Global, I'll definitely recalc her with Global gear and all, and I'll put her in my spreadsheet. But by memory, it wasn't very impressive. She gets a lot of updates though. I think these are her old crowns that were gold. Now they're silver if you didn't do it in the past. Now it's free. But she also gets some other just generic, like a lot of upgrades. Like she got like a whole overhaul. It just wasn't enough.
Now, does she have a leader skill too? Did I just see that? Yep.
Yes.
Victorious Ice. Yeah.
100% for ice units. Yeah. So Global at least is catching up to the backlog leader skills, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then the EX stages. So by memory, I don't remember some of these. So the ones that were really hard on JP, I did remember. For example, like the Sephiroth fight, I remember was pretty challenging. The Tifa fight was kind of challenging me on JP. This Bahamut quest, I don't remember at all. So it was probably a turn 1 OTK. I don't remember. On the other hand, I do remember this one. This one was pretty hard. The Saul stage. I remember having to do it like 7 or 8 times to figure it out. But I eventually got it. But, this was a harder one. And then this one, I don't recall at all. So it was probably easy.
Probably easy. And if I'm noticing as we're looking at them that only the last one is locked to any specific series. So, I mean, if it was difficult in JP, it probably won't be difficult here just because of, global stuff.
Oh, that's right. So Global's been doing that. Yeah. So these equipment quests in JP, are not locked to units, but they had series missions. And Global's been removing those missions. For example, the Sephira fight, the Lapis mission on JP was only Final Fantasy VII units. Yeah, I think that's why it was hard, because I wanted the Lapis, and this one was like Season 4 only or something. I forget what it was, but Global will probably remove that, and then it will be easy. Just turn one it with, like, 2B or something.
Yep. I do think that the limitation, though, for just Dark Lineage can be really hard for some players, just because it's a relatively small category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the gear, so Raegen's cloak is 68 attack power and 500 flat for all the versions of Raegen. So definitely really good for him. The Clash Ring is technically better, but you're going to want to be able to spread that out among your team. So this is really good for Raegen. And it's got true dual wield, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And then this one is a two-handed rod, I guess, for Saul, 500 magic. It's good for now, but very, very soon we should be getting the Dark Visions two-handed rod, and that's going to be one of the immediate buys for a lot of units. So that's better, but this is free, I guess. So it's good.
Yeah, get it because it's free.
Mm-hmm. And then Physa's Crowns, and this one is locked to Dark Lineage only. So who is Dark Lineage that is budget? So the Raegen, the free Raegen, is Dark Lineage. I think he's the only cheap and good Dark Lineage unit. I guess the Fina.
Yeah. If do you mean the Dark Lineage Fina?
Oh no, she's Anniversary, not Dark Lineage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be challenging to do like on a budget run. I mean, I've personally got Flaring Rain, so this will be a joke. But if you don't have one of those, it can definitely be hard.
Hope you farmed up your Raegen Dark Lineage fragments.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then this was kind of nice to see. So we've had the thing where Global has not given us the vortex of memories or the whatever for the old event makes them permanent. But seeing that they're rerunning some of these limited stuff, currently it's just the Emperor Crowns. But I guess I would just assume going forward they're going to start rerunning all of them, I would assume. So that's something. 'Cause I've seen a lot of people saying, I didn't do Dark Reign's Amplify quest, and they just can't do that now, and it's gone, and they're upset. So this is nice if they're bringing that kind of stuff back.
For sure.
But I'd definitely rather them give the Vortex of Memories. And then the other news for the week, real quick before we're going to talk about that. There's also a live stream. I'll talk about that in a minute. But also, what we're not getting from this event, this came in JP. We had the Chamber of Arms updates, which changed the whole system of Chamber of Arms. It gave us a new trial for Sheratan, the unit. It gave us the unit Sheratan, and it gave us the reverse Chamber of Arms, which was the you saw that video I made, this Evil Queen Byakul. It was like a whole new, really, really hard trial, tons of missions, etc. This is not being released on Global this week. Do you think they are cutting this entirely, Gerrtt? Do you think it's delayed? Why do you think it's not here?
I really, really hope that it's delayed and not cut. Just because, one, that sprite is incredible. Both of the sprites are just incredible. But two, it's just like we like challenges. We like trials. We like things to do. Having the new Grace trials has been a lot of fun, and like it's been something interesting to do that wasn't just a 3 or 4 turn clear. So having something that's a really challenging in a different way than Clash of Wills and way different way than Dark Visions. Don't get me started. Is just a nice prospect. So I really hope that they're not completely cutting all that. Not to mention, having additional units and things like that. Plus, a lot of people. I know that this changes the way Chamber of Arms works, but that was a really cool thing. Like the change, those fights in general are just really cool. It'd be neat to go back and
you mean
relive.
Yeah, you mean the original ones where you could swap out the party
swap
members?
Battle was a really cool thing. I thought.
Oh, for sure.
I would love to have seen them keep that, But just being able to go back and do anything Chamber of Arms related and have an update to a system that's been in the game since almost the beginning, would be it was something I was hopeful for, knowing, kind of watching the schedule and things like that.
So hopefully they bring that to us very soon, because it was. I don't think it was a lot of fun. It was extremely hard. It was a very hard challenge in JP, and I was looking forward to doing it on global with global units, but
Yeah.
not this week.
Please don't.
And then the other news is the live stream, which at this point we just know it is going to be about the Clash of Wills unit. Always is. Tony and Justin, so I don't see Hiroki making an appearance, but a special guest from the FFBE team will also join in. Who do you think the special guest is going to be?
Oh, that's a hard one, because we don't really have a whole lot of faces that we really see from the FFBE team.
Mm-hmm.
They have done surprise Hiroki before, so I guess it's possible that it could be surprise Hiroki, but I don't know.
Yeah, because it's kind of true. Like, we really don't see very many of, like, the actual team. We've got, Hiroki, Tony, and Justin are the big three these days. Every now and then we'll see Alex, and then Max Powers comes on for, like, big events. But that's kind of it. We really don't see anyone else.
Maybe there was a lady that was on a couple events ago who was helping them with the wasabi cream puffs, and everybody was really excited about her. Maybe she'll come back.
Could be. And I guess it also could be Kei Hirono, the actual overall Brave Exvius producer from the JP side, but he apparently runs, like, the whole thing.
Okay.
So, could be him. If it's like, I kind of doubt that, though, considering it's right before anniversary, so probably not.
Yeah.
So it'll be curious to see. I am definitely curious.
Well, and I have a special interest in these live streams because we get to do the beige carpet walk afterwards. So
that's definitely
always fun.
Always fun to talk about or complain about.
Yes.
Depending on what happened.
Yep.
But that's kind of it for the week. So thanks again for joining me, Gerrtt.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, see you guys on Thursday for all this stuff. Later.
Have a good one, guys.